Daphne stared at the torn stain on her old office chair while Elliot slowly pushed another rejection folder across the desk. Before opening it, she already knew the answer, because disappointment had become a routine part of her life. "We've decided to move in another direction for the senior consultant role," Elliot said with a fake sympathetic smile. It was the 12th time she had been denied the promotion she had worked years to earn. The promotion went to Kirsten, a woman who had only worked at the company for 8 months. Daphne forced herself to smile, while her chest burned with frustration and humiliation. Please subscribe and share our channel because we create powerful story videos for you every day. Stay connected with our channel for emotional, inspiring, and life-changing stories like this one. Elliot leaned forward and promised her future opportunities just like he had done many times before. But this time, instead of crying or begging, Daphne suddenly burst into cold, uncontrollable laughter. The sound filled the office and made Elliot visibly uncomfortable as his confident expression disappeared. "For 6 years, I believed your promises," she said softly. "And now I finally understand the joke was me." Daphne had spent 6 exhausting years at Paragon Strategic, a consulting company that loved pretending employees were family. In reality, the company rewarded politics, favoritism, and connections more than talent or hard work. She worked late nights fixing disasters nobody else could solve, while others took credit for her achievements. Whenever clients panicked, Daphne was always the person leadership secretly depended on to save everything. She automated broken systems, rescued failing projects, and trained employees who later became her bosses. Yet every time promotions appeared, someone less qualified somehow moved ahead of her again. One manager claimed she lacked leadership experience, so she led important projects successfully for years. Then they suddenly said she needed more technical expertise, even though everyone already depended on her skills. Another employee missed deadlines constantly, but still earned promotions because he played golf with executives. Meanwhile, Daphne kept sacrificing weekends and sleep, hoping merit would finally matter one day. That night, she sat on her bathroom floor crying while staring at the harsh white bathroom light above her. She felt invisible, exhausted, and angry at herself for wasting years chasing approval from the wrong people. Her sister Renee listened quietly on the phone before giving advice Daphne never expected to hear. "Stop trying to win people over who already decided not to value you," Renee said firmly. Those words stayed in Daphne's mind long after the call ended, and sleep never came that night. Instead of sadness, a dangerous kind of clarity slowly started forming inside her heart. The next morning, she returned to work smiling calmly as if nothing had changed inside her. But secretly, she had begun building an escape plan that would completely transform her future. Daphne started documenting every system, process, and solution she personally kept alive inside the company. She realized Paragon depended on her far more than leadership ever wanted to admit publicly. She carefully mapped client relationships and noticed many trusted her personally, instead of trusting the company itself. That realization became the foundation for a bold plan she called her quiet exit. Unlike quiet quitting, Daphne still worked harder than everyone else around her every single day. The difference was she had stopped working for recognition and started working for herself. She volunteered for difficult projects and became even more valuable to major clients across the company. Whenever emergencies happened, executives immediately called Daphne because nobody else knew what to do. At the same time, she quietly reconnected with former coworkers and industry contacts outside the company. Instead of updating a resume, she carefully built a portfolio for the future business she imagined creating. 4 months later, another promotion announcement shocked the office and crushed employee morale again. Theo, a loud but mediocre consultant, became the newest senior manager despite limited real experience. Surprisingly, Daphne felt nothing this time except calm certainty about the future she was preparing for. She congratulated Theo politely while Elliot watched her reaction with complete confusion. Over the next few weeks, Daphne saved money aggressively and officially registered her own consulting business. She also began having careful conversations with dissatisfied clients who respected her honesty and expertise. Exactly 6 months after rejection number 12, Daphne walked into Elliot's office holding a resignation letter. "I'm leaving in 2 weeks," she announced calmly while his face instantly turned pale with panic. Elliot suddenly offered her promises, promotions, and emergency discussions about her future at the company. But Daphne had already spent years hearing empty words that never became reality. Within days, the company started realizing how much invisible work Daphne had quietly handled alone. Systems failed, projects stalled, and confused employees desperately searched for instructions only she understood. Executives begged her to document everything before leaving, while clients specifically requested to speak with her directly. For the first time in 6 years, leadership truly understood how valuable she actually was. The CEO eventually offered her a massive raise, leadership authority, and an executive-level position to stay. Daphne listened respectfully before reminding them they had ignored her loyalty for 6 long years. On her final day, she packed a small box filled with office mugs, notebooks, and dying desk plants. As she walked out the lobby doors, Elliot warned her she would fail within 6 months alone. Daphne simply smiled because for the first time she trusted herself more than she feared uncertainty. The next morning, she officially became the founder of her own consulting company called Clarity Partners. 1 week later, Paragon lost its largest healthcare client because they wanted Daphne leading their projects instead. Soon another major client followed, leaving the company scrambling to stop the financial damage. Furious executives threatened legal action until they discovered Daphne had never signed a non-compete agreement. Their careless oversight ended up costing them millions while her new business expanded rapidly. Within months, Daphne hired talented workers who had also been ignored and undervalued at other companies. Unlike her old workplace, she built a culture based on fairness, respect, and real opportunity. One afternoon, Kirsten unexpectedly asked Daphne for coffee and admitted she was miserable at Paragon. The workplace had become chaotic, toxic, and unstable after Daphne's departure exposed deeper problems. 6 months later, the same CEO who ignored her value called begging her to return permanently. This time, he offered double salary, equity, leadership control, and complete freedom over her projects. Daphne quietly refused because she no longer needed validation from people who once overlooked her worth. Her greatest revenge was not destroying them, but finally building a life where she never felt invisible again.